Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Color X Malice along Takeru Sasazuka's route. Yeah, we left it just the perfect transitions, so let's go ahead and hop right back on in here. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. I can define our relationship once we've finished dealing with X Day. Well, you could, but you could deal with it now, too. I carried the heavy files and returned to the investigations HQ.
You're late.
Sorry, I got the materials for June, too.
Huh? That's considerate of you.
Well, Sakuragawa got it for me.
Ah, I see.
Sasazuka took the materials and started looking at the data regarding the Metropolitan office bombing on the 15th.
It's highly likely the explosives were planted beforehand.
Does it look like Akito's doing?
I think that someone else planted them. He's on the wanted list, so he can't really move around freely. Someone else planted the explosives, and then Akito actually detonated them.
Is it possible someone other than Akito did that?
No. How much have you looked into the June incident?
Oh, come on, what do you mean no? It's possible. Even if it isn't likely, it's still possible. During a science experiment, an entire class of students were caught in an explosion and killed. The class that was targeted had a student who committed suicide in the past. They suspected the bereaved family, but they had an airtight alibi.
Seems like you know the summary. Kanade Sarah committed suicide about a year and a half ago when she was in middle school. Her family didn't realize she was being bullied. They were shocked when Kanade committed suicide, and they confronted the school about it. But the school refused to admit to the bullying. The Sarah family investigated the other students on their own and filed a lawsuit.
I see. So, what happened to the lawsuit?
It was thrown out of court. One student that was going to take the witness stand suddenly refused to show up in court. Without the cooperation of the student, and with their only witness gone, they had no way to prove that bullying existed.
Oh no.
That's where the problem is. I haven't confirmed this yet, but the student that was supposed to testify was pressured by the school. No, someone even higher.
Does that mean...
Yes, the 3 victims killed on the 15th. They were all linked to the witness backing down. It'd be strange not to suspect Akito at this point.
I can't say anything. Just as Sasazuka said, considering the situation, Akito was obviously the prime suspect. Yeah, but there's also the possibility that he could have tried to back out at the last minute and wouldn't push the button so somebody else did. To me, I would find it rather likely that, if you got all these people, one of them would try to back out at the last minute.
Akito should be within Adonis right now. I don't know how he is, though.
What do you mean?
Manabu Soda, Rika Sugawara, Akito Sarah. What's the reason the suspects have been easily found since December began?
Because... I thought a little before answering. They were pawns. But Akito is no mere pawn. Because they were pawns that Adonis was comfortable sacrificing.
That's right. Like Soda. Once he executes his incident, his usefulness to Adonis has been exhausted.
Then Akito's a pawn too? No, he hasn't been caught yet, has he?
I can't shake that possibility. However, in Akito's case, they realized that we suspected him, so Adonis scooped him up before we could grab him. If the perpetrators of the X Day incidents all had the chips in them that Soda had, the conversation we had with him was overheard by Adonis too.
You mean the day we all had the hot pot? What exactly did you talk about with Akito?
I didn't say anything of substance, except that I knew he was a suspect for the June incident. The first thing he said was, "Am I a suspect?" Akito had apparently been prepared for this eventuality.
Akito was nervous when he found out you were a former police officer. But you exchanged information later, right?
Yes. So what would happen to Akito after he paid for his revenge with the incident on the 15th?
Could he be... sacrificed?
If he really is useless, maybe.
What do you mean?
At the very least, Akito is safe for now. I know that for sure.
How do you know that?
Reasons. I'll explain later.
Does it have something to do with that phone message you got?
Assuming that Akito is safe, what do you think the reason is?
The reason? The boy's got skills. Although I'm not convinced it's true, I start to think based on that assumption. Because he's still useful. Because he's still useful to them.
Yes, that would be natural to think that. Considering what happened until now, the perpetrators of the X-Day incidents were only useful as pawns.
How can you be so sure?
Whether it be with Soda, Sugawara, or Akito, they still live their regular lives, right? If they really needed them in the syndicate, they would just keep them within the Adonis hideout, the way they're holding Akito now. But they didn't do that. Why? Because they didn't want to let them in. More people knowing means more possible leads.
But isn't it also risky to let them run around freely?
Even if he's caught, they can erase what they need thanks to that chip.
Oh, that's right. But that's all the more reason to wonder why they still want Akito then.
What value does Akito have that the other pawns don't?
Like I said, skills! Huh?
I'm talking about you.
Huh? What I said was... the connection to... Could it be my connection with you, Sasazuka?
Yes, that's right. I can't say it publicly, but you know the reason why.
Yes. Adonis reached out through my collar to try and recruit Sasazuka. They did say through the collar that...
We'll contact you another way soon. And to Hoshino, I wish you luck.
Could their other way be Akito?
I said that at this particular moment, Akito is safe.
Yes.
This is why I think that.
While he said that, Sasazuka took out his cell phone and showed me a screen. Oh, he sent him another message. This!
So, we're going to the office tonight.
Huh?
We can't talk about it here. Besides, our meeting place is in virtual reality.
I don't get it.
We'll see tonight.
I guess I shouldn't really talk about that while we're in the office. December 15th added to materials.
Hey, give this data back to Sakuragawa.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, and once you're done with that, meet me at the entrance of the department.
Are we going somewhere?
I need some motivation for the afternoon, so I need to fill up my stomach.
Oh, lunchtime.
I'll treat you to something as a reward for using your brain.
Huh? Are you sure?
Yeah, anything you want. Just think of a place to go. Anything but a bar.
Got it.
You got so happy all of a sudden. You really are a dog.
I'm not a dog, but I'm looking forward to a good meal.
Yeah, just go. If you don't hurry, I'm going without you.
Okay. Phew, let's see where we go to eat this time. I grabbed lunch and returned to Investigations HQ. Well, we got carryout. There were a lot of investigators here for the meeting. Minagishi isn't here yet. Maybe he's busy.
Hey, have you heard? The chief of police is here in Shinjuku.
Oh, not that guy.
What? Police Chief Takeda? That can't be true.
The police chief? I couldn't help but listen in.
I heard the orders came from headquarters. They're getting impatient because X-Day is getting close. Huh. The pride of the police is on the line, but it's serious business if the police chief himself is coming here.
It's seeing that the chief really was in Shinjuku. I poked at Sasazuka's arm next to me. Sasazuka, did you hear that?
I already know about the police chief. He'll be attending this meeting.
Huh? Why didn't you tell me? How did you...
Shh, here he comes.
When he entered, every single one of the investigators present stood up. Sasazuka and I did the same. Yusaka Takeda, 58. Finally, somebody that's actually older than me. Well, I mean, he's been in here a couple times already, but there aren't many people in these games older than me. Sometimes it makes me so sad. So that's Police Chief Takeda. The presence of the Chief of Police added a lot of tension to the room. The police chief glanced around the room and silently sat down in the middle. Next to him was Minagishi, who had followed him in.
Have a seat.
Minagishi gave out the order, and everyone obliged. I looked to my side, but Sasazuka was acting like he typically does. I feel nervous.
Now, let us begin the investigation briefing.
The heavy announcement opened the meeting. The details of the briefing focused on the expression of resolve from Police Chief Takeda. With the countdown to X Day drawing near, the police chief was here to assume direct control. The pride of the police was at stake, and we were risking it all to solve this incident. We were expected to ramp up all our efforts in order to accomplish that.
Do you understand? I need you to understand how serious my arrival makes the situation. My position is also at stake here, so stay alert and watchful.
I don't like him. Yeah, neither do I. I've never liked him in this game. Everyone here was constantly on alert and giving it their all to investigate these crimes. Police Chief Takeda didn't acknowledge the efforts everyone put in and sounded like he only cared because his status was in jeopardy. Yeah, he really did in that little speech. I shouldn't let it bother me. I was sure the police chief had a lot to deal with in his position. With that thought, I continued listening.
Ends the briefing. Return to your post and resume your investigation. And Sasazuka, come here please.
Huh? What about me? While I was surprised to be summoned suddenly, Sasazuka just got up and walked over. What? I wasn't summoned? Yeah, he only asked for Sasazuka. I quickly stood up too, but I hesitated a little bit before I followed him.
As promised, I let them know. Please make it quick. Got it.
Sasazuka went out to the hallway after exchanging a few words with Minagishi. What should I do? I didn't know whether or not to follow them, but then Minagishi tapped me on the back.
You can tag along, but keep some distance. Do not just jump in.
All right. Urged by Minagishi, I went to the hallway.
Thank you very much for your time. I'm Takeru Sasazuka of the Cyber Crimes Division.
Minagishi has told me about you.
Sasazuka was talking with the police chief. What's going on?
I dislike beating around the bush. If you have something to say, make it quick. I don't have much time to spare for you.
He's as much a dick here as he ever is.
Then I'll be happy to oblige your request. I've come back here in order to reinstate the swords and firearms control law. I will see it put back on the books. I know full well that it's not an easy problem to solve. But when I'm the one that cracks the X Day incidents, I would like for you to take a hard look at bringing back the swords and firearms control law.
After he said that, Sasazuka bowed.
Please.
Oh, he actually humbled himself. Sasazuka. That's the first time I've seen him bow to anyone. Reinstating the law was Sasazuka's primary goal. Now that I understood Sasazuka's past trauma, I knew how important that is to him. I watched quietly as Police Chief Takeda opened his mouth to speak.
Solving the case by your own hand, huh? You talk big.
I am confident I can.
Assuming that you do basically solve the incidents on your own. You must also understand that I am unable to decide the fate of the swords and firearms control law on my own.
Of course.
I see. You understand. So, you're telling me to pull my strings in order to move people who can affect that change.
I leave it to you to interpret my words however you see fit.
After saying that, Sasazuka smiles. Yeah, but it's not the good smile, it's kind of that creepy smile.
I dislike people who are all talk.
And what makes you think he's all talk? Don't you know anything about his reputation?
I'll pretend that I didn't hear what you said here today.
I don't mind. I hope to get a response from you the next time I see you.
We'll see.
With that being said, the police chief walked away.
This was one of the conditions for Sasazuka to return to the line of duty.
Huh?
You don't remember? He whispered into my ear that day. And one more thing. Where did you get that information? You hold me in high regard, so you should already know what the source is. Those are my conditions. If you accept all of that, then I don't mind returning to the line of duty.
Oh, speaking of which, back then, he'd extracted information from the Metropolitan Office's network that the police chief was coming to Shinjuku.
And on top of that, he wanted to make a personal appeal to the chief of police himself.
Huh? I was about to yell when my mouth was covered from behind.
Don't shout, stupid.
I nodded and he let go.
Did it go well? Beats me. But from the little briefing, it's pretty apparent the old man is only ever thinking about preserving his position. If I really do solve the incidents, he might help me. I hope so.
Me too.
I'm relieved to have fulfilled my promise to you. I'm sorry, but I'll excuse myself now. I wish you two the best of luck.
Thank you, Minagishi. Minagishi quickly followed after the police chief. Sasazuka, you never fail to surprise me.
Don't sulk.
But...
Let's just continue the investigation. You want to reinstate the law too, don't you?
I do, but...
Let's get some coffee.
I'll be sure to grab a lot of extra sugar and milk. Just the way he likes it. I said that and trudged along, and Sasazuka nodded. Obviously pretty pleased with himself as he returned to HQ. December 17th, 8:39 p.m. Nobody's here.
Yeah, I had them go away.
Sasazuka turned on the lights, and I picked up the remote for the climate controls in order to warm up the room.
It'll take time to get everything ready, so just relax.
Yes. I honestly had no idea what's about to happen or what to expect. I'm very curious now. Sasazuka turned on his PC and started clicking away on his keyboard. Oh, is this something that has to do with, like, the thing that Sarah sent him? He seemed to be concentrating, so I quietly sat down on the sofa and tried my best to stay out of his way. Oh, I better contact Kazuki. I reached into my pocket to grab my phone and began to write a message. I might be late tonight. Do you have some decent food to eat? After a while, a reply comes.
I'll be fine.
Okay, thank Okazaki for me.
I don't want to.
Do it anyway. Are they alright? I was obviously worried about how the two of them were doing since they didn't get along. But then I laughed at the next message.
We're doing fine here.
I don't think that's from Kazuki. I don't think, Kazuki's an emoji kind of guy. Is this from Okazaki?
Ignore the last message.
It seems like they're doing fine, so don't worry about them. Okay, bundle up and don't catch a cold. Okazaki. I sent that message and put my phone away.
Alright, that should do it.
Are you done?
Yeah, just need to wait till 10 now.
What are we doing? I'd like to know soon.
To put it simply, we're going to video chat. I showed you the message from Akito, right? 3 days ago, I got another message.
Sasazuka clicked through his cell phone and then showed me the screen. That Akito-esque comp thing. What is this?
It's a user account for a video chat site. I searched for it and it came up. I've already created a user account with my information. Meaning, we'll be able to speak with Akito directly at 10 o'clock.
Video chat? So like a TV phone?
You really are from the Stone Age.
I've never used it before.
Jeez. In short, you can talk to someone in real time. when you connect the camera and mic to your PC.
Yeah, she really is from the Stone Age. I see. It seems like it's a great thing that we'll be able to confirm whether or not Akito's safe.
Don't be so carefree. I already told you why Akito was trying to make contact with me.
That's true, but Akito had gotten and repaid his revenge, but he's still being kept around because he was connected with Sasazuka. In other words, Akito's mission tonight was to recruit Sasazuka.
Don't look at me like that.
Sasazuka...
It's almost time. You stand behind me. We don't know if Akito knows anything about your collar. Don't speak unless it's absolutely necessary.
Alright. Yeah, 10 p.m. the same night. Sasazuka sat in front of the PC and put on his headset and mic. Wait, if he's wearing a headset and mic, can we still hear this okay? I stood behind him while watching the screen anxiously. And then... 10 p.m.? The moment the clock hit 10, a familiar face popped up on the monitor. Akito! Nice to see you again, Sasazuka. And Kazuki's sister. That's what you're gonna call me, Kazuki's sister? Akito! Or was that some kind of signal, some kind of hint?
Hey, you seem to be doing well.
For now.
Sorry to rush things, but were you responsible for the Metropolitan Office bombing on the 15th?
All of a sudden. Yeah, he's not wasting any time. Personally, I was angry for Akito, but he just smiled wryly. But you already know the answer. You're quite the sly one. Yes, I did it. I'm not as good as you, but I do have some hacking skills too. I thought Akito was the better hacker. Wasn't he the one that hacked into Sasazuka's system in the other route?
Oh?
The bomb was planted beforehand, and I used the elevator and security systems to guide them up to the top floor. You know the rest. I did everything. He says it so bluntly. Akito was displaying no emotion at all on the monitor. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
So, are you satisfied now?
Beats me. I honestly don't know. They're dead, but it's not like doing this is going to bring my sister back. This may all be just self-satisfaction. No, it most likely is out of self-satisfaction. My sister didn't tell anyone about the bullying, but she did try to talk to me. But I was too preoccupied with my hobby that I never bothered to hear her out. It was my fault that she died. It's easy to say that it isn't true, but if I was sitting in his shoes, I don't think I'd be able to blame him. Sasazuka, if you investigated me, you know that the lawsuit my family filed was dismissed.
Yeah, your only witness didn't show.
We didn't even need a witness to win the case against the school.
What do you mean?
My sister left a suicide note. She wrote down the names of all the people who bullied her. If we submitted that as evidence, we could have won the lawsuit. But I wanted to get revenge on those people with my own hands, no matter how many years it took. That was the only thing left that I could do for my sister. That's what I thought. Akito's expression was quiet. He seemed like a different person than the person I knew, the one who would hang out with Kazuki. Let's get down to business. The reason I'm contacting you tonight is because I've been ordered by the powers that be in Adonis. I could tell that hearing that made Sasazuka tense up slightly. We've researched her past. I can understand why Zero wanted me to recruit you.
What is this Zero?
Zero is the leader of Adonis. We owe everything to him.
You owe everything to someone who pushed you to take revenge.
You can make your own judgment call after hearing this. Thomas Ken Nagata. Do you recognize this name? I guess that's the person who killed his mother. That name, could it be? Yes, Sasazuka. That's the name of the shooter that killed your mother.
What about it?
He's currently in Japan.
Huh.
Oh my god, is that him? Because he's really pretty if he is. On the monitor that was displaying Akito, the image of a tall man appeared. The picture was in black and white and looked like it was security camera footage. Sasazuka was focused intently on the picture, and from the way he reacted, that must actually be the person who killed his mother. Why does he have to be pretty? Darn you games, stop making pretty evil guys! Under the orders of the syndicate he belonged to, he came to Japan earlier this year. We've already researched his whereabouts, contact information, and his known associates. If you would like, Adonis will assist you in exacting your revenge. That is the message from Zero. Sasazuka. His shoulders twitched. Seeing the killer that he hated so much, the man he actually wanted to kill, what was Sasazuka thinking right now? The silence was deafening to me. Nagata is part of the criminal underworld. Even you won't be able to pursue him all by yourself.
Are you saying Adonis can?
Set a thief to catch a thief, they say. I don't know the exact details, though. But, Sasazuka, society has already judged him for his crimes, and they found him innocent. This is exactly the reason I joined Adonis. I don't regret that one bit. Sasazuka doesn't say anything. Wow, I'm really surprised. I thought Akito would be more conscientious and repentant. I thought he would be more borderline about being an Adonis, but he's really a staunch supporter. That really surprises me. Especially given in other routes how he was all reluctant to leave Kazuki and all that. Sasazuka doesn't say anything. He just stared at Akito through the monitor. Or perhaps he was actually just staring at the killer on the screen. If you intend to join Adonis, send me a message within 3 days. You can come with Big Sister over there, or by yourself.
She has nothing to do with this.
Sasazuka!
You shut up.
Sasazuka's voice was cold, and I missed my window to reach out to him. We were so close, and yet I felt like he was in his own pocket of space. As soon as you contact us, we'll send someone. Don't bother setting them up. Only the lowest level henchmen will be sent. Stop! If it was possible, I wanted to shut off the PC. I didn't want him to hear Akito's words anymore. I didn't want Sasazuka to waver. I made fists with both my hands, clenched my teeth, and waited. Akito turned to me. Oh, right, Big Sister. Can you do me a favor and tell Kazuki to stop messaging me? I hesitated for a moment, but when Sasazuka didn't react, I quietly opened my mouth to speak. I can't do that. Kazuki is still waiting for you to reply, Akito. You are reading them, aren't you? I may be reading them, but I can't respond. He still says he believes in me. I'm already a criminal. Akito. And I've already sent a parting gift to Kazuki. He might not realize it, but it was atonement for myself. Akito turned his attention away from me and looked at Sasazuka again. Sasazuka, this is a personal request to you. Please make no mistake about who it is that must be judged. And with that, Akito disappeared from the monitor. December 15th update materials and Mrs. Sasazuka's killer. Sasazuka didn't move from his desk. He didn't even turn around to look at me as he sat in silence. I didn't know what I should say to Sasazuka right now. As the silence continued, the ticking of the wall clock seemed to grow louder than I remembered.
Ichika.
Yes. Sasazuka slowly rose to his feet and turned to face me.
Go home for today.
Huh? But...
I need to do some thinking. Alone. Please.
Think about what? He never said please to me before. Every other time he thought he needed space, he'd just bluntly tell me to get out or something similar. His words were meant to be kind, but it felt like he was pushing me away. That made me afraid. Am I just in the way?
Just go home. Your brother's worried about you.
Sasazuka! He grabbed my coat on the sofa and urged me to go without saying another word. Please, tell me you won't go anywhere. I couldn't bring myself to say that right now. Did he come to work today? It's 9:26 a.m. The following day. I headed to the investigations HQ I looked through the X-Day incident files all morning. No new information useful to the investigation. I stared at the picture of Akito being posted as a suspect. Among his list of friends was Kazuki's name. I brushed my finger against it. During breakfast, Kazuki seemed to act like his usual self. Okazaki complimented me on the breakfast I made, and Kazuki frowned at him, telling him not to hit on his sister in front of him. He just said the food was good. That doesn't mean he's hitting on me. Well, he probably was, though. Yoshinari had 3 plates, and Kazuki told him to show some restraint. But he was acting calm, but when I saw him look down every so often to futilely check his phone, it just made me feel so sad. I left home because I couldn't bear to see my brother like that any longer. Oh, poor Kazuki. Even if he is a jerk a lot of times. It seemed like Sasazuka hadn't made it into work yet. Oh, Minagishi, good morning.
Good morning, Hoshino. Did something happen with Sasazuka? We're about to begin the day's briefing.
Sasazuka has been doing an independent investigation since last night. I can't say what happened last night. Minagishi frowned a little when he looked at me suspiciously.
Freelancing at this juncture.
Yeah, don't look at me. I'm sorry.
There's no need for you to apologize. The investigation is currently at a standstill. If he found some clues, then that could allow him more room to operate.
Minagishi showed me a tired smile. He wasn't the type to ever complain to one of his subordinates. The stress wrinkles visible on his face made me stand up. You seem a bit tired, so how about I make you some coffee?
Well, thank you.
The deadline that Adonis had declared for X-Day was only 2 weeks away. The only person who seemed to still have energy was Police Chief Takeda, who was yelling up a storm. Well, he's freshly arrived. He hasn't been toiling over this for however many months we have. The investigators on site, including Minagishi, were all visibly tired. Alright, we'll talk about that in the next episode, because we got a break there. I'm still wondering if Sasazuka could actually get away with infiltrating Adonis as a mole within them. Like, if he could somehow avoid getting a chip implanted in himself, you know? Or I guess maybe he could make that sacrifice. Well, anyway, we'll see how the story goes in upcoming episodes. I hope to see you in that next one or some of my other videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.